Welcome to the Hampshire 1900 start for Workers and Resources Soviet Republic, and we're picking up on the 14th of July 1933, which I think is about 6 or 7 months on from the end of the last part. And in this video I just want to do a little bit of catching up in preparation for the next part, which will be in 1934, where we're going to start looking at some better technologies that will be able to improve the overall economy and also open up new potential for actually getting a little bit more ambitious. But the other thing I also want to just do at the moment is just kind of give a quick overview of the state of the economy, in the sense that we are making a fairly steady profit now. It's not a massive profit, so we're going to need to keep an eye on things over time, because this 3 million rubles seems a lot, but it can disappear incredibly quickly. The other thing, if we go across here, you can see we've now pushing a population of 15,695, which of that, nearly 11,000 are actually workers, which is pretty good actually. We've also starting to get some over 21s again, which is useful for what I want to do in this part. I don't think what I will do is just do a very quick check here. If we come into here and look at free flats, just want to see if we've got a little bit of space here. Obviously, we can't allow them. We'll let those go into there. Right, and we've also got we can allow so into there. We might also utilize that space, because I have started to build a hotel here. But the other thing I want to show you is our health is good, but alcohol problems is increasing. Unable to visit doctors. We've got a small amount of pollution, 160 pollution. That could be down to waste. Our happiness is kind of stabilized around 73%. I don't think we're going to really get that much higher until we start getting some more aggressive type I can say things that would give us happiness. We've got an average loyalty of 39%, which, to be honest, at this point in the game is really good. And I think that's down to the fact that we have been driving loyalty with some of these, and of course we went for early electronics. And this is something that you do need to be aware of, that you will watch tutorials and people say, well, you don't need electronics and you don't need to build up loyalty. And same with crime, that crime doesn't start until you've got a population around 12,000. These are all areas that you want to work on almost as soon as you've got a viable economy, simply because it takes a long time to reduce crime, and at the same time it takes a very long time to build up loyalty. And once loyalty is lost, it becomes a generational thing. You can't push some of your older residents, even with the full effect of this, to higher loyalty. In fact, often what they do is they tend to trend down. The key to higher loyalty is, if I can find the school, if it's in here somewhere. Where's the school? It's probably in this little list here. Look at that. See, we're not teaching our kids loyalty, which is bad. Yeah, that was a bit of a mistake. Let's check our university. Where's the university? It's in here somewhere. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Yeah, see, the university is 35%. This is where you get your loyalty from. You're churning out your children and your highly educated people to actually get that higher 39%. If you can get them up to 39%, the effects of this, and of course more importantly radio, which is what we've actually been using for a little while, so we've got a bit of space here, but I don't want to kind of consume all that. Yeah, radio is another big factor, which will have an influence on your overall population. Now, as you can see here, I've actually planned out the farm here, simply because I just wanted to do it off camera, because it took a little while. In fact, it took 2 goes. So I started laying it out, and then I realised that I'd made a few mistakes So what I did was is I reloaded the game and did it again. And what you will see here is we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 large fields and 1, 2, 3, 4 medium fields, which I think is a little bit too much. But I wanted to get the biggest possible farm in this area. Now, we will have a problem with storage due to the fact that our largest grain silo at the moment is, where is it? Is 4,800 tons of crops. So that will be an issue, but there's not much we can do about it. But the main reason I wanted to plan this out is that I wanted to gauge how far out we could come here, because what we're going to be doing, kind of not in this part, but in a future part, is planning a ringwood out, probably out about here, where the ground's a little bit flatter. Because what I want is to have ringwood here, so that we've got a town near this point here of New Milton. In fact, I think Ringwood is up here, isn't it? But what I want to do is kind of build a, we'll probably call it New Milton. But the more importantly, we need to plan in a rail connection through here, because this will be our primary export hub going forward, because there's no way that this medium customs house is ever going to be able to support mass exports. The other thing I've also done in this area is I've started the pretty tedious process of actually leveling this area here, and you can see I'm kind of working in filling in this area, and the reason for that is, well, there's two reasons. First one is what I've mentioned several times before. If I show the coal mine, we've got potential for a very big, we've got a coal mine here with 92, I think we can get up to 95%, I think. So if I can fill that hole in, we've also got, I've already put one here, which if I knock it down, put it back again, I only put it in simply as a marker, but we've also got a coal mine here, which we can get up to 73%. And then we've got, so we've got one there, we've got a third one here, which we could get 6. So we've got 3 good coal mines here. The other thing is, I know that the game has gone dark, so let's just speed the game up again. Is we got potential here for a construction industry as well, which would fit very well with the coal. The only thing that would be missing will be the ability to make asphalt, but we could get that eventually from the oil reserves over up here. But in lieu of that, what we might be able to do is actually make some bitumen here using the trees. So we're certainly going to build a construction industry in this area because of the proximity of the gravel, because that would then certainly drive forward our overall expansion. At the moment, down here in Milford-on-Sea, the only other things that are really going is I'm trying to build up these ports. So I've built another hotel here, planned another hotel here. And what I've also done is I've built a bus stop here. I don't want workers in here. Go away. This is a tourist bus stop. In fact, I should name it Milford-on-Sea Tourist Drop. But what we will do is push the workers into here, because we're going to need, if you bear in mind that we're probably going to need workers out here for our construction industry and our coal mine. So Milford-on-Sea is going to expand this way, so we're going to have to watch our pollution. Up in Eastleigh, not much is going on. The one thing I am now starting to kind of turn my attention to is Southampton, because I think it's time to start developing Southampton. We've got the road connections coming out here. Looks like these guys have now reached a point where we can kind of drop the 809. Can we get? Yeah, we're building that, but I think we could also put in those there. Yeah, so we're going to start bringing Southampton online. One, because it's an expansion town. Two, I think it's time to think very seriously now about actually, how can you put it, kind of developing this area. I've got an idea for what I want to build here, but of course the main important thing is that this will provide fire coverage for our expansion this way, because we've got a little bit of coal down here which we could use. I want to basically try and push on every kind of coal reserve that we can, and so we got that here. We got Basingstoke up here for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know if I can remove it. No. So we've got, so Southampton is going to be another growth target here. The other thing I've also done, in fact I can now get rid of this road here, is I got rid of that wooden bridge which was over there, and we've now planned in a modern bridge which will come down here, and we will probably put a proper motorway junction here, probably with it will be a full clover leaf here, and then what this will do is feed down into this area here, hopefully. So that is Eastleigh. Just to show you, we've still got plenty of crops left over, so we are going into crop surplus. So there's a possibility that this area will get reworked once we unlock the better buildings, and by better buildings I'm talking about, if we go to the food industry, is this food factory here, but you can see this needs modern industry, and I think modern industry is 1958, isn't it? So is it? Let me just find it. Modern industry 1958. So that is, what's that, 24 years into the future. And so what will happen is that eventually all this will get torn down and redeveloped. We'll probably put the, ooh, it's not that flat, is it? We're probably could even take some of these fields away, and even this farm may go a little bit, and we will actually put a food factory in. The alternative would be that we actually put the food factory down here, and then what will happen is the crops will be shipped down to a food. In fact, that's a very strong possibility, and this is something that you do need to consider when you're doing an early start, is not everything on the map is permanent. I mean, I may decide to leave this just to feed the locals, but we will then actually build a proper food production area somewhere. So some things are going to get knocked down in the future. And it could also, though, war stock here, I think we've got extra food production here, which is keeping everything going. So we may or may not keep this. We'll keep the farm, but again, we may need to rework this area. Anyway, so what I want to do now, we've actually got to get to Warstock there, is I want to work on Cosham here, but first that, a bit of an update of where we are. We've built this, the St Basil's Cathedral. You can see here that this is not a church, it's actually just a monument, giving us 2.7% over 500 meters, which is pretty good. Actually, one thing I did forget to check is our radio station over here. I don't think well, we are improving happiness now. We're driving happiness and we're driving there. I think what I will do is see if we can get a stronger influence. You can see at the moment only 23% of our population is getting the radio, but we are now getting a bit of happiness influence as well, which is good. And if we can get people with a higher loyalty in here, that will make a big difference. We've got that's an aircraft, so I don't think, when's the television coming online? I don't really want to rush for television, but we're just want to see what date television becomes available. Where is it? 1938. But that just gives us the television signal, guys, which is methods to transmit. This is the one that we actually really need to research, which won't be until 1942, because this is the one that will allow us to set the parameters which will influence the citizens. Oh, maybe we've got to go all that way. So what's this one then? It says, now we know how to produce and encode video signals. We now begin designs for our inaugural television studio. So this is just the base research. So to build it, let me just check. I hadn't really paid much attention to this. Is it in here? Yeah, this needs television station setup, which is, yep. So it's possible this will allow this. So we can't build a television station until 1942, and then we would have to research the influence, which is the equivalent of the radio here. Because there's no point building a television station unless you've got here. Wow, okay, we've got a whole. No, it's probably worth mentioning now. Bearing in mind that these are predominantly modded vehicles, but if I come in here and show you all by production, what you'll see here now is we've got a whole raft of vehicles that came in. We've got a gas bus there. We are now getting there. Now these are all modded vehicles. So in the early 1930s, you can see here we've gained what's 3 pages, 4 pages, 5 pages. So you can say, yeah, we've got just over 5 pages of new vehicles in 1 year. Now a lot of these is purely cosmetic, so it's not much point getting too excited about them, because they are often very similar vehicles in capacity and speed. But there are a few gems in here, like this bus here for 17 passengers with a top speed of 70 kilometers an hour. So we are starting to get the first vehicles that may benefit from asphalt roads. But again, it's not something I would strongly recommend worrying about too much, because unless you've got an asphalt plant like or access to bitumen, going all out for the actual laying the asphalt roads, especially if you've only got limited capacity for construction. That the real breakthrough when it comes to asphalt roads is when we get access to a roller. We've got a traffic jam a bit. Okay, we've got a fire. Now if we're up here, we should be okay. Yeah, fire crews are on it. Anyway, I'm aware that we are coming in here now. What I want to do is, the priority now is to work on Cosham. But the other thing I want to show you before that, sorry about the distractions, is that we're still struggling with workforce here, but we have got these buildings coming online. We are building out here to get a workforce that will come out to here, so that we can, well, first get the fire protection out here, and then we can start building up our coal industry here. And then of course we need to start thinking about coming in. Now the other thing I want to show you is that this is getting very close as well. We're now building out the substations, which we're going to need for Cosham anyway, which will come through to about here. And then hopefully what we'll then be doing is laying down the foundation for our first train. But the reason I really want to focus on Cosham is that if I find the actual fire station, you can see we got there. Now I am as an initial provisional kind of thingy here, but we got no real unemployment here. But what we might have is some unemployment here. We got a fire station here which kind of comes out this way, but they don't quite get out to here. So the first thing I want to do is put in another fire station down here. I know it seems a little bit over the top, but I think it will benefit us in the long term. We've got no heating out here, by the way, as well, which is, oh no, this guy doesn't seem to pick up the heating, so yeah, I think if I flip it that way, will that fit a little bit better? Yep. So we're going to put a fire station there. What that will do is probably extend the cover out this way. I think what I will do is, we've got this road is going to be our main road going this way. So what I'm going to do is, got a road coming there. We've got another new vehicle. We're gonna plan a bridge here because I want to go this way, because of course we need to expand in the direction of Southsea. So I'm gonna cancel. Build a fairly big bridge here. This will take the road that way, but more importantly, it will, don't worry about the squiggle. Oops. And then what's that there? I think that's a bit of old mud road there. And what we will do is come off here and run into there. What that will mean is that this fire station will provide some coverage to here, but it still comes back to what I want to put here. Now, another reason for building Cosham is that we have got all this empty space here, which we could use for producing things like electronics, which is here. So we got the potential for electronics industry. Now, electronics doesn't produce that much in the way of pollution. The other option which we can tie with the electronics is, if you see here, we need gravel, chemicals and steel. Wow, okay, wow, that's interesting, because that doesn't need plastic, it just needs chemicals, gravel and steel. I hadn't noticed that. That's a bit of a game changer. I mean, I like that actually. That's actually part of the mod. Ooh. Yeah. That's early electronics. I like that. How do we get to this? Modern industry 1958. Yeah. So the devs have actually put. Oh yeah. This is giving me even a bigger reason to actually build up Cosham. Although we would have to bring gravel down from there, but we wouldn't need that much in the way of gravel, and it doesn't produce that much in the way of pollution. Yeah, I like that. So what we're going to do is first we're going to put in the key element of what we want to do, which is we're going to put in a full-size fire station, and I'm going to put you about there. We're going to tuck a fire station in there, and what I'm going to do is, now we don't want a massive population in here, although now we know that we can build electronics. How many workers? 75. So I think I'm going to put a little bit of actually, if we, that's that distance there, so if we kind of create a road that way, and maybe hook to there, and then that means we can put the store in about here. See what we got now. A small shopping centre. The moment up until now we've been using the corner market, which can uses 20, and this actually gives, I don't think these stores actually serve 200 people. It's more 130 people, isn't it? I don't think they ever really get up to 200. Okay, we got another vehicle. So it looks like we may even get an extra page of vehicles. So I think what we'll do is we're just going to give the in-game shopping centre here. I think what we'll do is if I put you on, actually if we put you on this side, flip you that way. Yeah, what we'll put in is that's a Tudor warehouse, Tudor barn. We're gonna tuck just gonna put you on this corner here like that. Then we will put in the new small shopping centre. Put you about there. Make sure that battery connection connects up. Build this in here. That will give us, and if we put the residence on this side, I know that it's not truly central, but it'd be okay. Right, what have we got in the way of hospitals? The historic one treats 60. We've got one which will treat 75. This one, wow, way too big. Yeah, I think we're going to put in some, start using the kind of 1930s. We are in the 1930s, so I think if I rotate that, maybe we're, but we put, no, it's not what I'm looking for. I think if we can get you on this side, actually, I think we're going to put you here. So we're going to, I know it's losing efficiency, but all our residents are going to be within this area. So city accounting office there. Wow, that's pretty big. I want to start putting in actual city buildings as well. So we've now got the store, we've got the hospital, we've got the fire station. We're going to need something for the community. Community cinema. Put the cinema just there. No, it's too close to that road. We will. Oops. Put you that way, so you're. And then we're going to need sports hall. We've used the sports hall. We'll put an indoor pool. Actually, we'll put the indoor pool next to the cinema like that. That means we can run out this way with a footpath. Just want to make sure. Yeah, we can run a footpath along there and make all the necessary connections. And we can create a square around it like that. We can keep this area here. Yeah, I think we can put a little bit of residency out here. So we've got this here. So we got the sport, we got the culture, we got the store. Actually, you've had nothing delivered here yet. Okay, just gonna flip this actually. Just gonna flip this the other way, I think. Let me just put the store on this side. So we're gonna need put the, where's it? Sorry. We're gonna put the, actually we're gonna kind of push you this way a bit, out a bit actually. Like bring you down a bit so we can put a footpath there. And kind of stretch you out. Actually, we'll do that. That would give us a little bit of a reach like that. Yeah, I think that will work better. Then we can put you in there. And we might even be able to get a small cargo with 4 drop-offs in here. Yeah. Drop you. Actually, if we can, we only need a 2. Actually, come to think of it. Can I get you on this corner? Get you there. That will put the store closer into this area here. Building on fire. Where are we? That's easterly heating. That should be okay. Yeah, I think what we can do is possibly, well, we're going to need a heating plant. We can put the heating plant up there. Sanitation, that's going to be an issue, isn't it? Okay, let me just look at the pipe work. Okay, we've got a pipe work coming in from under there. So, right, let me just see if I can get the pipe work in. If we can put if I can get a sewage switch there. Well, good old prefab. Oops, no. Can I get you? Oh, look at that. You managed to get under the river. Let's just make sure that's connected. So we've got sewage disposal there. We've got water supply here, but the trouble is I don't know how much water we're consuming. It might pay to put a separate water supply in here. And then we can push it out that way. Anyway, back to what we're doing. We can put a pub in up here, so we can. What we can do is put our. I think what we can do is, this is all quite sparse and empty. So what I'm going to do is we're going to put trees here, lots of. Because I've just had another idea. So we're going to put lots of trees in here. So what we'll do is we'll have the heating plant on this side of the map, and what we could do is get a little bit of wood lumber production here, so that we don't have to, because at the moment, actually, where do we get the lumber from at the moment? Here, isn't it? Boards, yeah. Building without drinking water. So we could possibly get rid of this and get a slightly bigger, more upscale lumber plant here, but we will put the heating plant there. Let me just plan some accommodation now, because we're going to put the schools and kindergarten out this way as ever. We are going to need something to kind of improve our overall effect. Let's get some accommodation in. What are we going to use for accommodation? Again, I'm very tempted just to use the worker blocks. Got brick flats 75%. I'm not particularly that interested. Kind of part of me says, can we put something in that looks a little bit more rural? Oh wow. That road's the wrong way round though. That's got, I mean, it's got lots of bricks though, but it doesn't use that much steel. I think that's just going to be a little bit over the top, isn't it? Ah, this looks we've got miners' houses here. He's only got 40 workers in. What do these look like? I mean, these are, I mean, we can afford to come into here. Let me just see. How much does it take to build these? They don't need that much steel, but they've only got 30 workers in them. Oh, I've forgotten about the communes. I haven't used the huge kill. Wow. That might be a little bit over the top. That's the circle commune. The problem with these large communes is that they can cause problems with connections. Medium commune. Put a commune in. I think just for the fun of it, guys, we're gonna put in commune, but we'll put a couple in just to, as I say, I've never really extensively used these, but maybe I mean, there's only 27 workers in each one, it's a bit low density, but yeah, I think we'll put a couple of communes in there just to kind of create a slightly more rustic look. Let me just see. We've got the good old what we got here. Oops. What are these? Empire 20mm flats. Oh, yeah. I like these. These have got 140 workers in. How do these look? I'm liking these. What do we need to? There's predominantly brick, but that's okay. I think we're kind of put one. What are these? These are. That's not Jane. These are 140. So that's 140, 280, 320. 320, 440 there. So we'll create a row up like that there, along that line there. Yeah, with that and that. What else can we put in that might look a little bit different? We got some brick houses here. We've got Tudor Street. Again, this is a little bit of an odd one in the sense it only holds 40 people. But you've got these squares which will kind of come in like this. Peasant housing, shopkeeper's house. Okay, let me just put this in next to the shopkeeper. What we'll do is the place is going to look a little bit of a hodgepodge, but I'm quite liking this actually. What we need over here though is we're going to need to put some stuff workers over here, so we can do it. We've got Orchard Barracks. Right, we've got some historic apartments. I think we've already used these, haven't we? Apartments, wards, old tenement. What we got here? We've got concrete lofts. These look a little bit modern. The crowded residence. What have we got here? Got a brewer's house here. Tavern keeper's house. Oh, that reminds me, we need a pub. Stable hands lodgings. Tudor residential. Okay, let me just. You've got 50 workers in each of these. These are virtually peanuts to build. So what we'll do is we'll create a little bit of a small Tudor kind of up there as well, like that. And we'll just hook these in like that. We can run a footpath through there. And what we will do is, now this has been built, our guys are working. Of course, we're going to put an asphalt footpath through there, and I think we'll put an asphalt footpath through here. What's going on here? Probably that these are too close. So I get this. Why are you not? This shouldn't be. That won't actually. Okay. What we can do is come here. Oops. Move you and you and you. We'll put an asphalt footpath there, connect all that up, and then what we should be able to do is hook these up like that, so we can make a connection like that eventually. So we'll have this here. This will give us the connection to the fire station, and we can put another footpath up through here. So we'll just quarter this, say like that, and that would give us this area here. What we will do now is put the building in that I always forget, which is put the pub in. Whereas the pub, alcohol, we'll put the pub at the back here, because that will be a little bit worried about that substation though. It could be in the wrong place, although we should be able to. That one comes in into here. Oh, this one's only a spur, so we can run the underground power down through here. And again, I think what I'm going to do is, well, I'm just going to do a drop of save as, because I want to do some cloning. What we probably need is the setup that I built over in here. So if we come in, so if I can clone that, where take this back over to here. Where's Cosham? We put the we got the accommodation there, we got the road there, we got the heating plant there. So if we kind of drop you in there, you can come there. What's there? We'll get rid of the roads here and the footpath and redo these. Okay. I'll put you there, you there. So what that will do is this would be the wood cutting post, which means that it will cover this whole area here. It can even expand into this area. The heating plant will be here. We will put in a heat exchanger from the get-go, because this will only cover into there, but we probably most likely would want to expand a little bit into this direction. So we're going to put in the heat exchanger. It's a really big one. That's the one with the, put the heat exchanger about, actually we could put it on this side of the river, out about here. Actually no, we'll put it about there. And then we're, as usual, underground. Put you there. This isn't going to be that big, and Let me just see how well the water plant is going. And we're not working at maximum capacity. And to be honest, if I expand out this way, I'd sooner put in another water supply here. Because we're not supplying any commercial stuff here. I think what I could do... Do I have the connection here? Let me just see. We've got a connection there which will come off of here. We will probably need to pump it across the river. So we could put a... I put a... Where's the big pumping station? I put a big pumping station just there. And then we can run you down into there like that. Right, let me just... We need a sewage tank. I think if we put the first sewage tank up here, never find out. It's that way. Actually, we put the sewage tank. That's the wrong way round. Actually, if we put it... No, I think if we put the sewage tank there. And it's going to be 75. Put you to there. And of course, what I always do is to keep things consistent is where put the water. Okay, we want water to the thing, so I flip it that way. That's that way. I put you about there, and I get the footpath connection to there. And then what we will do is run the put you into the center of there. That will give us the water. Substation is there. Now again, we're going to have a bit of an overloading problem, so let me just see. I think you've got your own substation, aren't you? I think game work. We're just going to put the first. Actually, we can put it there if I can angle it slightly. I can put you about there. And again, actually, I haven't looked. What is this? Medium voltage wires. When's that research becoming available? Okay, that doesn't make sense. What's it say? Oh, modern electric pylons. There we are. 1934. What that will do is unlock these medium voltage wires 1.5. Oh, that I think that's 2.35. So that needs prefab panels. That's not a big issue. This one is right. I think the moment I'm still going to stick with my underground connections, simply because these actually provide what these do is because you can double them up, that actually gives you full connectivity into that area. So we've now got Cosham kind of set up, and what I need to do now is start prioritizing this area, trying to get it into here. One thing I have forgotten is the well, we can let people move in over time. I'll sort that out. Right. We are on the 27th of November, so, and I'm also running out of time, so what I'm going to do is just show you here. We got 2,700 tons of crops in here. We are let me just do an overlay, just make sure everything is being picked up. Let me just come in here. So the fields are being cleared. It's just that we've got these fields which aren't being fully harvested. We come over to here in Eastleigh. These silos are nearly full. Except for this field, everything's been harvested. We've got full capacity in here, and there we've got a little bit of space in here. So we kind of chopped out all our main kind of grain storage. This is the reason why long term we're going to have to modernize our farming with more storage capacity. How I'm going to do that, I haven't got a clue. Our happiness is holding up at the moment. Our population is growing. How many over 21s? We've got 47 over 21s, which is good, partly because we want to be able to get people so that we can populate Cosham. So we're going to need a few hundred people here. We obviously we built our first farm, but we don't have the roads to support them. Yeah, there's no point worrying about this farm just at the moment. We've got no power supply out here as well, which isn't a problem. I mean, we got probably, are you on auto detect? We've got 3 medium fields. To be honest, I don't think it's going to be worth the effort. So, oops, we've got these guys. We've got tourists, but no supplies, which is built that really quick. Shop delivery. I think shop delivery delivers everything, doesn't it? Just double check. Yep. So we've built up this area here. I think we'll be building another hotel fairly soon as well. So how much money are we making from How much money are we making from tourism now? About 40,000 a month, so we made 79,000 rubles. Our main imports are still food and meat and fuel is going to be an issue. A little bit of coal being imported. This is all being imported for here. So we kind of need to offset these costs. I've been kind of delaying the doing the incineration plant out here because, again, it all hinges on research. I think this is where you've got to really start thinking about the research capability, because I would like, it's 1935 before we get waste separation, but I'd like to get this underway. So in some ways I need to stall the waste management for another year. we've got the snowplows out here doing things. We are going to need to get power out here. What have we got here? I think what I would like to do is we're going to put a fire station out here. I know I've got a bit of an obsession with fire stations and all that, but I think it's ensuring that you've got good fire coverage, especially in these industrial areas. I know we've got a fire station down over this way somewhere, but having a fire station is quite important going forward. So if we can build that, we can build that. The warehouse is there. Or not the warehouse. This. Oh, so it's being built. So actually, let's suspend construction on that. Partly because it's a train station. We don't need it. What I will do off camera is work out the power supply, because I'm not exactly sure where we can run the power from. What is this? Oh, this is garbage collection. This needs to be built as well. So there's a few things that need to be put together here. I would certainly like to... I must admit, I am quite surprised on the numbers of people that are coming in. So we got our hotel here. We got this hotel. Anyway, I think this is where I'm going to leave it. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you found it interesting. What I will do is what I normally do is I'll play through to get rid of the snow. So in the next part, we can start really focusing on putting together probably war stock, which needs to be the focus, because we really do need to come out this way, get some of this accommodation actually built up and people moving in, so that we can then start to get... Oh, we're going to need the power supplies put together as well, because I really want this fire station operational to give us protection, and then we're going to go all out to get this up and running with the power, with the actual power station. We can get brickworks, would be quite a major step forward as well. But until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.